Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And I have to talk to you about our Patreon because exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with the $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Parlay Play. Parlay Play is a lead pipe locking for parlaying player props. Go to parlayplay.io and use promo code SGP for a 100% deposit bonus today. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, know the voice of the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell from Virginia, here at your service.
Come to bring me my money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
And I am joined on this Sunday with a 3.5 game slate on the WNBA. I have my co-host, my guy, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Doing pretty well. Looking forward to going through these 3.5 games. Should be fun. A bit of a weird part of the schedule. We'll talk about it in a second, but one game, despite it being 10 a.m., we know the action's taking place. They just don't know what the lines are because of some injury news. So we're gonna go through the game anyway. We'll see what happens. But for the most part, looking forward to going through the games. I know the last episode wasn't the best for me. It could have been worse, though. AT got there for assists, so didn't end up losing all three. Didn't have a winning episode, though, based on the lock, dog, and props. So hopefully we'll turn it around and sweep, but could have been worse last episode.
Yeah, man, look. So what was my dog Jewel? It was Jewel 20 plus in a win. So I had Jewel 20 plus in a win as my dog. She goes 5 for 20. 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Or something crazy. It was something crazy from the free throw line. Finishes with 19, and they come back and get the win in the second half after.
I still can't believe they won the game. I think Atlanta scored 7 points in the fourth quarter.
Where is it? Because they always do it. They always do it. I mean, whenever we count this team out, play it one more time. Whenever we count this team out, they always do it. It's amazing. I love this Storm team, even though they're probably really bad and should get the first overall pick this year. They just find ways to cover games they probably shouldn't cover, and they won that one outright.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. Atlanta's kind of falling apart. We'll talk about them in a second, but yeah, nice win by the Storm. They don't have many of those, so congrats to them. Also, congrats to the Fever, who actually looked really good for once for the first time in 2-3 months. So they ended up winning. Heartbreaker, though, on the Mitchell 25 plus and the Fever to win at plus 1060. 24 points through 3 quarters, and she did not score again in the entire game. So she ended up going under by 1 point, but the Fever won.
That was bullshit.
So.
I really wanted to take a victory lap on that one. That was bullshit. I was watching that too.
It was rough, but either way,
we are here. I am actually in Ohio, kind of, sort of, at the Fantasy Football Expo. I'm in Airbnb right now.
I need a lemonade rant. Just give it to me already.
No, it's really okay. I honestly, truly, and I can do it because I'm perfectly fine. I don't know what's with people in Ohio and not putting sugar in their lemonade, but they literally just passed me off lemon water and tried to call it lemonade. And so we go to this breakfast spot yesterday, and it's me, is Sean Kramer, Andrew, Adam, all the SGP guys. And we're sitting here and everybody orders coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I get a lemonade. And so she knows the lemonade is trash before she gives it to me. She knows it's terrible before she gives it to me. She gives it to me. She watches me try the lemonade, and she sees my face and is like, it's not good, right? And I'm like, so you knew that y'all just out here don't put sugar in your lemonade, don't do anything, and it's just fine. So now the day goes on, and we go over to the Hall of Fame, and outside the Hall of Fame, guess what? It's a free lemonade stand. And so Who am I to turn down free lemonade?
Mhm.
I swear, he lemon water. It should have said lemon water. Here's a lemon water stand. I didn't even slice the lemons up. I just put the whole lemon in the cooler with water and I gave it to you. There's your lemonade.
Sounds terrible.
I don't understand how the people of Ohio just do this. This is really ridiculous. Like, and I just do not understand it. And honestly,
You know
I
what
feel
that
like
means, though,
everything
right?
bad should happen to Ohio. Like,
You know
this
what
is
that
why
means,
the
though,
Browns
right?
haven't won anything. This is why the Browns don't win because they don't know how to make good lemonade.
Well, I was gonna say that means that you have a potential business idea. All you have to do is just add sugar to lemonade and only sell in Ohio.
Everybody's
You'll
everybody's
make
gonna
all the
go
money.
come to me. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have the best lemonade in Ohio, and
you'll have a
everybody's gonna come to
lemonade
me.
monopoly in Ohio.
I was really annoyed because lemonade is my favorite drink, and I just never taste any worse lemonade ever in my life
I
than
don't know how
that.
you don't add sugar to a lemonade. That feels like a pretty standard ingredient, but
Even a 5-year-old adds sugar to lemonade.
yep. Hmm.
I don't know, man. I swear they did like Salt Bay when Salt Bay hit the
Yeah,
little dab of salt. That's the amount of sugar that was in the freaking lemonade.
that's not good.
All right, man. You know what would make me feel better other than that trash lemonade is if everybody out there went out right now and signed up for our Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon, get exclusive access to a whole bunch of content. I should have saved this for the Patreon members, but I felt like this was a story that the masses need to hear. The
I don't know
masses
if
need
it's
to
I don't know if
know
it's
this.
degen enough for the Patreons. You know, like
Well,
it's just
I could tell the story about how I almost shit myself on the way up here.
no.
So
You could save that for the
that's the Patreon. So
Patreon.
we'll say that's the Patreon. So for our SGP Untold Stories, I'll have the story of how I almost shit myself on the way to the Fantasy Football Expo. I think people would really enjoy that. And then we got the NFL Win Totals contest where first prize gets $1,000 for first place in the contest, $1,000. Whole bunch of season-long contests. I know Sean's been talking up this prize that he's got for week 1 NFL for the Patreon members. So I'm really excited for y'all to hear that because it's a really dope prize. We got a whole bunch of stuff. So only you can prevent corporate gambling by signing up for sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All righty here, Scott. Let's get on to the 3.5 game slate in the WNBA, starting with all the games that actually have lines. 3 p.m. on the East Coast, we have the New York Liberty traveling to Indiana, play the Indiana Fever. New York Liberty opened up as a 10-point favorite. They are a minus 10.5-point favorite now. 166.5 is the total in this one. Injury report for these two teams, and I have for the New York Liberty. Hey, it's really not about who's on the injury report. It's about who's not on the injury report. And Stephanie Dolson is not on the injury report today. Stephanie Dolson looks like she's returning to the team and starting to ramp up and play back in games. Han Shu is out indefinitely now. So she was out temporarily, just going to play with her national team, but now she's out indefinitely with a foot injury. We don't expect to see her for the rest of the season. And for the Indiana Fever, nothing to report. Clean sheet for the Indiana Fever. So, Scott, Liberty Bibberty, they had a really good week last week. Are we backing them again this week? Minus 10.5 on the spread.
They had a really good week, but Indiana did look very good last game since they are pretty much fully healthy again. To look at the actual meetings this season, the Liberty are 3-0, and they've won 2 of the games by 17 plus. The other one they won by 8, but they were up by about 20, and they choked the entire game, won in overtime. I think for this one, I'm just going to take the over. I'm not going to really overthink this one because Indiana's at full strength again, and they look pretty good against the Lynx last time out, but I do think both teams can score. Indiana's not a great defensive team. The Liberty have been better defensively recently, but we know that they have the tendency to play with their food a little bit in the second half. If things get out of hand, they make the games interesting because they just refuse to put their opponents fully away. I'm worried about the backdoor cover here, so maybe I'd consider Liberty first half, but I think I just like the over in this game. I expect to see a lot of points. The Liberty have scored at least 90 in each of the first 3 meetings. The Fever did score 83 last meeting, even though they did lose the game by 18. I think I just like the over here. I feel like either way, one of these teams should have a great offensive game. The Fever scored 91 in their last game against the Lynx. scored 80 the game before that against the Sparks. They've been scoring a bit of points. Meanwhile, the Liberty can easily score 90 against this team. I'm going to go with the over. I think you'll see a game that gets into the 170s.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the total is probably my favorite play on this one. I'm not in the business of backing Indiana, especially in second halves, and I'm not in the business of backing the Liberty at all. Who just, I mean, what are their ATS numbers? Even with the good week that they had last week against the spread, covering, winning against the Aces, still 13-16 against the spread like for this season. Like it's really bad. So, what I'm looking towards here is I like that total, but I want to stick to the first half. You know how Indiana and how these things can slow down in the second half. I like that first half, but New York Liberty pretty solid defensively in the first half over the past 5 games, 39 points per game allowed. That is first in WNBA. Indiana needs some work, 43.4 points allowed in the last 5 games in the first half. That is ninth in WNBA. So what I'm looking here is for let's see here, a first half team total on the New York Liberty sitting at 45.5 right now, minus 125. I think that's a good number. I'd go ahead and play that over 45.5 here. And I'm just going to go say that the New York Liberty are going to do what they normally do, and they get out. They get out early. They can get out early on the road. This Indiana team doesn't really play that well defensively in the first half. I think that this is an over game just overall. I do like the first half over as well. What I can get that number for you. But I like the first half over overall. But just to take away Indiana possibly not being able to score, I like that New York Liberty first half team total there. And 85 is that first half number. I
was just going to say, I agree with you. I think the Liberty in a world could score 50 in the half and nobody would be shocked. Like there is a chance they just go nuts. Maybe Indiana builds off of last game and they play well too. So yeah, I'm with you. I like the first half over. I do like the full game over. I know Indiana's had times where they're really bad at scoring in the fourth quarter of games, but I do think once again 165.5 feels pretty low to me. So I'm just going to go with the over anyway.
Yeah, and New York Liberty, we know this season haven't really been the best defensive team. They've turned it on in the past 5 games, especially with that mugging of the Aces. But overall, this season really started to lack defensively. Let's see if they turn the corner. But as of right now, I'm still fading them on the defense side of the ball. We like the over. If I had to pick one against the spread, let's. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can. Which would piss me off more? If I bet Indiana and they didn't cover, or if I bet the Liberty and they didn't cover? At least Indiana's still 14-7 as an underdog. Give me Indiana plus 10.5.
I think I'm going to lean that way too, but I'm not going to bet the side.
Yeah, I'm good on the side. Total is it for me. Player props, what you like?
So looking at the recent performances, I feel like I got to look back to Erica Wheeler. I see her points props at 10.5. I'm going to lean to the over there. To read off her games recently, she scored at least 12 in 4 of the last 5. She scored 15 against the Liberty in the last meeting. And I'm trying to see the first game against the Liberty. I guess she did basically nothing in the first meeting. But in the last meeting, once again, she did have 15. So I do think she can be in line for a pretty good showing here. But the fact is, she once again has scored at least 12 points in 4 of the last 5. This number feels a bit low to me. I'll lean to the over on Erica Wheeler.
All right. I am.
Do you co-sign that, or you're not in?
No, I like Erica Wheeler. She's definitely. But the only thing that I'm concerned about is with Melissa Smith being back, and if that takes some
shot
usage
attempts
out of her.
Yeah,
that takes some usage out of her because she needs to get the volume to get there. Like she can go 3 for 10 and end up with 11, 12 points. So that's the only concern for her there. For me, let's go back to Sabrina, man. I'm feeling a Sabrina game today.
Points or assists?
I say you can do. I think you can play everything. I think you can play points, rebounds, and assists. Like if I'm looking at a points, rebound, and assist line for her, and it is at 29.5. 29.5. I think that she has the ability to be able to do that. I think this is a game that she could be in kind of triple-double watch territory just because we know the Indiana Fever are going to crash the boards hard. And what she's able to do with teams that are really good at rebounding is just put herself in positions to help alleviate the pressure off of Jacqueline Jones, off Breanna Stewart, and be able to get extra rebounds. We know how she is distributing the basketball, able to get some assists, and then scoring-wise, like, I think she could go for 30 herself and cash this line. Like, I think she's always liable, good to score the basketball, and I think this is a good matchup for her, especially against Erica Wheeler and Kelsey Mitchell in that backcourt. So, yeah, if she gets going from three, she could get hot and cash this on points alone. So, yeah, I like Serena Ionescu today. Points, rebound, and assist over 29.5. I like her points too, over 17.5 as well. If you just want to play that line or you don't have a points, rebound, and assist line.
Yeah, 17.5 feels a bit low.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Anything else for this one?
I got nothing.
All right. Before we get to the next game of the slate, gotta talk to you about Parlay Play, because Parlay Play is a great way to get down on your favorite parlay player props. Football season is around the corner, and Parlay Play has everything you need. Everything. And then guess what? For my Los Angeles people or anywhere in California or anywhere in the quote-unquote great state of Texas, but that still doesn't have sports betting, you can have Parlay Play there. You have a chance to use Parlay Play in a whole bunch of places. And guess what? Even the Canadians can use it too. So when you sign up with our code, you'll get a sweet bonus to get started. Parlay Play I like today is, I just talked about her, Serena Ionescu. Give me Sabrina Ionescu any way I can take her. I think she's going to have a great day today. Head over to parlayplay.io. Use promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's parlayplay.io, promo code SGP. All righty here, Scott. Let's move on to the rest of the slate. Next game on the docket, we're going to skip around because we still don't have the line, but 6 p.m. on the East Coast, we have where's it at? I didn't know this game was next. Yep. Toilet Bowl. We have the Toilet Bowl. The Phoenix Mercury traveling to Seattle to play the Seattle Storm. Seattle opened up as a 2-point favorite. They're down to -1.5. 163.5 was the total. It's down to 160.5. I looked at that total last night and said I should get down on the under, and I didn't do it. Oh, I'm really kicking myself about that. All right. Let's see here. Injury report for these two teams, and I have for the Seattle Storm. Gabby Williams out for the season. Talked about that last time. Nothing else to report there. For the Phoenix Mercury, Shea Petty is out indefinitely with the concussion. So, Scott, Seattle has dominated the Phoenix Mercury.
They're 3-0.
Three games this season, 3-0. They started off early in June, 6.5 point dog. They won outright in Phoenix, 83-69. Came back later in June, won in Seattle and demolished them, 97-74 as a -1.5 point favorite. And then you had them in Phoenix. What was that? A week ago? 97-91 plus 3.5 point dog in Phoenix. They're 3-0. And do they make it 4-0 today?
The line is definitely short, and Phoenix has played a little bit better lately, but on principle, I can't take a 1-13 team on the road straight up. I just can't do it. The Storm, I know, are not a good home team. I know that they're 3-13, but we've roasted the Mercury all year on the road, and nothing's really changed. I think I'm going to lean to the over on this game as well, because the last meeting did end up landing 188, and this total's at 160.5. I can expect points here. But I do think, once again, with Phoenix being so much worse on the road compared to home, the Mercury have won 3 of 4, but each of those games were at home, so that definitely is going to help out. But on the road, they're useless. And the Storm had a nice comeback win against the Dream. Maybe that kind of carries over into this one. But I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to hope that Jewel Lloyd actually wakes up and has a decent offensive game. She was really bad last game and then had a pretty good fourth quarter to, I don't want to say save her afternoon, but it made it look a little bit better. Maybe that carries over into this game. I don't like laying points with the Storm, but I'm going to lay it because, once again, the Mercury are 1-13 on the road. I can't back Phoenix here. Yeah,
man, this is just a terrible spot, overall, in terms, it's just complete red for everything that kind of lights up here on the ATS numbers for the season for these two teams. Storm 3-13, 3-13 in the first half on the spread at home. Look at the first half spread on the road for the Mercury, 4-9-1. Full game for the Mercury on the road, 3-11 ATS. You alluded to that earlier. You look at the Storm as a favorite; they are 1-2. You got the Mercury as a dog, 9-11, 8-13. They had 9-11 in the first half, 8-13 for the full game, and off a win for the Seattle Storm, 2-4 straight up. I mean, not straight up, 2-4 against the spread. It's nothing really like gives you any hope for the spread here. It's just kind of planting your flag. Excuse me, I can't even talk. It's just planting your flag here and deciding that, hey, I'm taking the team that won the first 3 games, and in WNBA, it's not as hard to sweep a team. Honestly, some teams just have some team's number. We've seen it with the Lynx and the Sparks earlier. Like some teams just truly have one team's number, and I'm gonna lean with the Storm here to just get it done like they did all season, especially with this Mercury team that's been really, really rough on the road. But there's no way I'm betting this. There's no way I'm betting the toilet bowl today. I'm gonna leave that where it's at. Whoa. All right. I was talking about the total a little bit earlier. I didn't do it last night. I'm kind of regretting it. I'm trying to figure out if I want to just go ahead and get on it now, even though I lost 3 points. But I'm feeling the under, man. I think we're going to see some bad basketball. And I think that a lot of turnover possessions. Did you see the second half of that game? Not even the second half. Everything after the first quarter of that Mercury Sun game, where the Mercury literally broke a franchise record for points in a quarter. For this, no, was it a franchise? I don't think it was a franchise record. It was a season record. They broke their secret season record of points in a quarter, and then the next quarter, they broke their season record for lowest points in a quarter, and had like 12 turnovers in the quarter. I just don't know.
Points in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter.
I just don't know if I can trust this team to consistently score enough for me to be able to say I'm taking an over. I would take an under, and I would take a Mercury team total under on the road, man.
I can agree with you on the Mercury team total under, but I think I'm going to lean over on the game. I also am a bit annoyed because the last game that Seattle played against Atlanta, I mentioned Magbagor double-double, and there were no lines available. Of course, there is a line available for this game, so there's no chance she's getting a double-double, just to be clear, but I'm a bit salty because I know we both liked Magbagor to have a good rebounding game last time out. It's plus 340 for double-double. I wish it was their last game. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
All righty here. Yeah. See, Phoenix, I don't know. That might be a lot for today. Phoenix team total under feels pretty good. I don't know.
They've been really bad on the road. Seattle's played good defense lately. I mean, you won with Atlanta team total under in the last game.
I did. I very much did. Maybe back-to-back. We'll see. All right. Player props. What you like?
So looking at this game, it's once again projected to be hideous basketball. So I'll tell you a prop I'm kind of sneaky into. It's actually Taurasi under assists at 4.5.
Interesting.
She's gone under in 4 of the last 5. We know Taurasi's been a lot more aggressive when it comes to shooting. When it comes to facilitating, though, not really. To read off the actual assist numbers here for Terrell, she had 5 last game, 4 the game before that, 2 the game before that, 2 the game before that, 3, 4, and 4. So she's gone under this number in, just doing the math quickly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in 6 of the last 7 games. So it is tempting to take the under 4.5, in my opinion. I'm not sure, once again, if it's going to get there, but you're expecting a low-scoring game for Phoenix anyway. So they're correlated, obviously. I don't mind Taurasi under an assist because, once again, she's been doing a lot more shooting. And I do wonder if Taurasi is really in a playmaking mood or if she just wants to drop 30 points.
Hey, man. She's been scoring recently.
Yeah,
I can't even take that from her. So I'm with you. I'm going to look on the Seattle side of the ball. Even Jewel Lloyd, man. Can't get away from Jewel Lloyd.
Got to wake up at some point.
And, hey, she gave him 32 the other day. She's given him 24 this season, 17 this season, over 23.5. That's actually like low for her. She's normally at 24.5. So you get a little bit of a discount there with an extra point for her to get the 24. But I think she absolutely cooks this team, and I don't think defensively that they actually have an answer, and they're really just going to try to limit all the pieces around her and try to not let everybody else have a great game as well. If Jewel Lloyd gives you 40, but everybody else can only give you 20, you have a good chance to try to win the game at 60 points. So I think if I'm the Mercury, that's what I'm trying to do. I say, Jewel, you're going to have to try to beat us by yourself because we're not letting anybody else do it. And I like Brittany Griner today as well. I think Brittany Griner has a good day scoring the basketball as well. I didn't play her last time, and I'm kind of kicking myself about it.
Well,
I'm gonna run
Seattle's
it.
also really bad in terms of paint defense, so Griner should
Yeah,
have a mismatch for most of the game.
very much so. I like over 18.5 for Brittany Griner as well. All right. Anything else you like in this game?
No, not really.
All right, let's get to the next game on the slate. We have the Atlanta Dream traveling to Las Vegas on a back-to-back as they just lost to the Sparks yesterday. They will be traveling to Vegas playing the Las Vegas Aces. Minus 17 is where the line is at now. Opened up
Yep.
at minus 15.5. 175.5 is the total. Injury report for not really can't really give you too much on Atlanta. They played on the back-to-back, but I'm pretty sure you should expect the same people that played yesterday to play today. Didn't see anything that knocked anybody out the game or anything that would slow anybody down from playing today. And for the Aces, still no Candace Parker. Nothing else to really tell you there.
You remember when the Dream were good? Like
So
a
I
month and a
did.
half?
So I was at the expo and we were having a party yesterday, and I got to a point where I was kind of tired of talking to people, and I was literally just walking around with my phone, sweating out the Sparks game.
What yeah.
I had Sparks minus 1.5,
Oh, okay.
and so I had came in at halftime, and they were down at half, and then I watched them go on a run in that second half and dominate the second half.
Mm.
And I don't know, man. I mean, what I will say for this game is that the Dream didn't quit in that game last night. So it wasn't like they, got to a point in the fourth quarter and they just kind of threw the towel in. Like, they were actually trying and playing hard.
That's
And
what they
so
did against Seattle. They actually tried. They just didn't play well in the fourth quarter.
I
can't back this Atlanta team on a back-to-back. I just can't do it.
Yeah, let's take Las Vegas early.
I think the Aces bury him in this game in general. I've been blindly fading teams on back-to-backs the entire year, and I've done very well for myself. And the Aces are 14-0 at home, which is a good sign. They played twice this season. First meeting was close back in June. Aces won by 5 on the road. They played in early August, and the Aces won by 23. But the Dream, once again, have fallen apart. They're 15-15 on the season. But you're looking at the recent performances, lost to the Sparks by 11, choked away a massive lead against Seattle, ended up beating Indiana. They lost to the Mercury by 20 on the road. They lost to the Aces by 21 on the road. They've lost, so let me just do the math here. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've lost 5 straight road games by at least 8 points. They've not, they have lost 4 of those 5 by at least 8 points. But on a back-to-back playing against Vegas, I think Vegas wins by 30. I'll take the Aces. I think they win this game comfortably.
Are the Aces up 10.5?
I think they should be. I think
That's what I think
Asia
too.
might go for 30 again.
That's what I think too. I think they're up 10.5. And so if you look at the Atlanta Dream, what they're doing this season in the first half as a dog, really interesting. 5-11-1 as a
Not good.
dog in the first half. So they're 15-14-1 in the first half overall. 5-11-1 as a dog in the first half. Like that's brutal. And
That means they
I
beat
mean,
up on bad teams.
yeah, and it correlates with their 9-3 as a favorite because they won that first half. Oh well, I don't even think they were a favorite. No, I think they were a dog yesterday technically, but it was like a pick 'em. So I guess I don't know. That's it. But yeah, I mean 9.5 feels like a lot for a first half, but on a back-to-back plus travel, like it's not
And,
just a
and you're
back-to-back,
against
a
an undefeated
back-to-back
home
plus
team.
travel. Yeah, and the best team in the league. And they're 10-3-1 in the first half this season. 19-9 and well, I mean, they've been a favorite in every game, so that's not good. There's no point in saying that. But yeah, I'm going with Aces first half here. I think they're up 10 by halftime, so I'm not going to play I had to lean Aces minus 17, of course. But I'm not going to play the second half because they could easily just not care in the second half anymore and then maybe win by like 15. But that first half, I think that they put it on them early. So give me Aces first half minus 9.5. I'm going to play that today.
I saw the Aces team totals at 96.5, and I didn't hate the over. I'm not going to bet it, but once again, that tells you what the odds makers think the Dream's chances are in this game. They expect the Aces to probably get to 105. Just a 96.5 team total. Team on a back-to-back. Atlanta shouldn't have much left in the tank anyway, and the Aces are much better than them regardless. Once again, I think that the Aces rout them, so I think that the Aces probably win by 20+, in my opinion.
This has to be a miss. This has to be a broken line. So I gotta bet this immediately. So the Aces are first half team total is over 50.5.
Okay.
Guess what the Dreams first half team total is?
Well, they're about 10-point dogs, but I'm trying to figure out the math there because
I'm gonna save you from the math.
I'm assuming it's going to be like 40. What is it, like maybe 39.5?
I see their first half team total at 50.5.
Who?
The Dream.
Is that just a massive typo?
I mean, it's got to be a mistake. I'm literally, I'm looking on
Which
another
book is that?
That's Bet365 that has that.
Okay.
I'm looking on. Let's see what DK. DK doesn't have that. Maybe it's in. Check your states because some states have half props on DK. First half team totals, but yeah, no. If you see anybody that's giving you a 50.5 first half team total on the Dream, take the under, man. That's not right. That's not right. And even in all the monstrosity and you know, like the Aces and how they could blow this game out and not really care about defense, 51 points in the first half for both teams is actually insane. And I think no, there's no way it's that. The scoring is going to be high. I don't think it's going to be that high. I think that Dream may be in like the 40 range, but 50.5, that's insane. That's a lot. Under 50.5, if that is a true line. I hope somebody else on Bet365 can bet it before they take it down, but that's really crazy.
They might void it anyway, so just keep it
potentially. That just can't be right. Both teams can't have a 50.5 first half team total. Like so over on the Aces, under on the Dream. Anything else here? What you got? Full game? We're on over, right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean to the over. I think the Aces score 100 points. So, you know what? The full game over is tricky because Atlanta might just run out of gas. I actually do like the Aces team total over. I think they get. I think they get to 100 and change. So, I think I'll just lean first half over. But full game I can't take because the Dream might actually run out of gas, and they've already been really bad in the second half offensively recently in games.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you. I'm on over. And Aces team total over. Let's see here. Better props. What you like?
I'm on Asia. I'm on the over in points. Her number's at 21.5. She had 40 last game. You're expecting some regression, but she had 40 last game, 28 the game before that. Was really bad against the Liberty, but for the most part, she's kind of been walking into 22 or more. To go through the numbers here, 40, 28, 9, 20. So two bad games in a row based on the point prop. 22, 24, 35, 23, 25. So she's been going over a lot. And I do think, once again, when you're looking at how the Dream play defense, it's an oxymoron because they don't play much defense at this point in time. But I'm going to go with the over here for Asia. She's been playing some great basketball. And I do think, once again, she could be in line for a 25-point game, maybe a 30-point game. But she's been very aggressive lately. The only concern is that the Aces might blow them out. So she might not play in the fourth quarter, which could be a bit annoying. But I think I'm going to take the over anyway. 21.5 for current form Asia does feel very low. I'll take the over in points. I'm curious what you were going to say.
First of all, DK has Candace Parker's points prop up. That's hilarious.
Funny. Okay.
Is there not? I wonder how many times they've done this season. And if anybody wants to look it up and send me a tweet at @reallyreal__, appreciate it, because I don't feel like looking it up right now. I'm curious how many times that Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum have all scored 20 points in a game.
All 4 of them?
Because
Probably 0.
no, they definitely did it the first game of the season.
They did? You
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
all 4?
All 4 of them, 100%. I am almost 100% positive because I remember saying, "Dang, all 4 of them scored 20. That would have been a crazy parlay."
I was going to say, I'm sure 3 of them doing it's happened a lot. 4 is asking a ton, but
But
maybe
it's
it
like
happened
nobody
more.
else. Who else is really
Yeah.
scoring
Mhm.
consistently for
That's true.
real? So it's like it's really not outside of the realm of possibility. And I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at this game and I'm like, man, how do all of them just not eat this dream team alive on a back to back?
Yeah, they really
Like
should.
everyone, I was literally sitting here like, okay, which one of the 4 am I going to back today? Just give me all of them. Matter of fact, if I make a same game parlay and I put all of them in for 20 plus points, that's 35 to 1.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm perfectly fine doing that. I know it's happened at least once. I'm curious how many times this actually happened, especially in like their blowout games. But I mean, if you just take the over, I think if you just take the over on all 4 of those points props, you're going to get at least 3 or 4
I think you
in this
should.
game. And you're going to be up. I'm pretty sure you're going to be.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, let's just do that. That's what we're doing today. We're taking the over on Kelsey Plum, taking the over on Jackie Young, taking the over on Point Guard, and we're taking the over on Asia Wilson. I'm almost positive you're going to be up 3 or 4 at the very least, potentially 4 or 4. And just to read off some of those lines so people know. You got Asia, like Scott said, 21.5. Chelsea Gray at 14.5, minus 135. Jackie Young, minus 120 at 17.5. And 19.5 for Kelsey Plum at minus 110. I think that they offensively bury the dream. And hopefully the dream have some gas in their legs where they can put up some points too, but we'll see.
Yep.
Also, give me point guard assists. It's all the way down at 6.5 now, minus 120. Love that.
I agree.
All right. Anything else?
No, I got nothing else.
I mean, let's talk about the half game on the slate. We don't have a line, but we have the Chicago Sky playing the Washington Mystics.
We're
Reason
not
we
going to
don't
spend
have a
much
line-
time on this game.
Oh,
just
no,
for
it's
the
literally
record.
going to be 2 seconds. But
Yeah.
Natasha Cloud is potentially not playing in this game. She had a foot injury in that last game, and it knocked her out of the game. She came back. I think she went back to the locker room again. So there's a pretty good chance Natasha Cloud's not playing this game. So you're rolling with Brittany Sykes and company.
I see the Deladon's questionable, though.
And that could be another like at this point, if Natasha Cloud is out, you might just have to say, "Hey, EDD, we need you to play."
Yeah.
Because we're 13 and 16 now.
Shakira Allison's questionable, too.
I think that's what they're doing. I think they're saying, "All right, we were just gonna find kind of slow rolling y'all because we're thinking about the playoffs. But at this point, if Natasha's not playing, we're short on bodies. Like at this point, we can't even field a team."
I still remember during the preseason show, I convinced you to take the under on the Mystics win total. And my argument was they're the Clippers of the WNBA, where
Very much
whenever
true.
somebody gets hurt, they're just not going to rush anybody back, and they're going to try to steal wins by resting Deladon.
Yep.
And they've been really bad for the last month and a half. Now, it's not just Deladon. It's not their fault. The entire team got hurt. But once again, the Mystics, they needed to do something because they were getting buried every game for the last 2 weeks.
Yep. 100%. All right. So
I think I'm leaning to Chicago because I don't know who's playing for the Mystics. So there's no chance I'm betting this game.
if there is a situation where everybody is out, just lay whatever you're gonna lay with Chicago. Just lay it. Like
Yeah, but I don't know
And
who's
take-
playing, so I can't
and
take
take Brittany
Washington.
Sykes. Honestly, no matter who's playing, I'm gonna take Brittany Sykes points over anyway.
And it's Deladon's first game in what, a month? Like, there's no guarantee she won't be rusty. Maybe she's on a minute restriction. There's still
Yeah.
chances for Sykes to have a big game.
Yeah, Sykes, no matter what. Courtney Williams is somebody that I like. Courtney Williams points, rebound, and assists. She really fills up a stat sheet. That's somebody that I could get behind on the Sky side of ball. But yeah, nothing really to talk about here. All right, let's go. Lock, dog, and prop. Finish the show out. For my lock, I am going to.
A lot of choices.
Yeah, it is actually.
You going with the Mercury team total under?
No, I'm going with the Aces, man.
Okay.
Let's back the Aces. Let's see. Do we want to do the spread or the first half team total? This dream, I don't know, man. That dream 5-11 as a dog. Yeah, 5-11-1 as a dog in the first half. That's brutal. I know this is a high number, but like when you're not in the game, you're not in the game. Yeah, give me the Aces minus 9.5. I know it's a big number, but I'm not afraid. Aces first half minus 9.5. They're up double digits by halftime.
Okay.
For my dog, though, now we get a little tricky. Do we fade the Mercury? Do we just fade the Mercury?
I know that doesn't count as a dog though, because Seattle's favorite.
Oh no, player. If I'm fading the Mercury, I'm taking Jewel. But
Okay.
She had 32 last game. Does she give me another 30? She could. It's pretty close.
She was good in the fourth quarters of last game, so maybe the slump is over. We'll find out.
Yeah, because that 154 for 25 plus in a win isn't really appeasing me. Yeah, and 420. Woo, I'm smoking on weed. All right, let's do Jewel Lloyd, 30 points in Seattle win plus 420. That is my dog. Run her back one more time. And for my prop,
I'm trying to think what your favorite prop was from the episode today.
man, I didn't really have a favorite.
Yeah, I know.
Point guard assists, 6.5. They lowered her. As soon as they lower the props, that's when they start hitting. So over 6.5 assists for point guard. She should be, and she plays garbage time with the second unit, and she runs that second unit. So more opportunity for assists. Hopefully she gets a double-double. I might actually have to, let me see if I can find it. It's actually.
Well, if we think that they might score 115 points, then we kind of have to take the double-double on point guard.
She had one last game. She had Kelsey Plum. So, all right, over 6.5 minus 130. That is my prop. Scott, over to you.
All right. So for my lock on the show, I'm going to go to the over at 165.5 in the Liberty and Fever game. I see points. Fever are finally healthy. They scored 90-plus points last game. We know the Liberty defensively can be really good, but they have a lot of lapses all the time. And I do think, once again, you're looking at a spot where there's a couple ways to get there. Maybe the Liberty score 90-plus and you're fine because Indiana's not a great defensive team. Maybe you see the Fever drop 75 to 80 and you're fine anyway. But I'll go with the over 165.5 as my lock. For my dog, I'm going to go with an alt line. I'm going to take the Aces minus 19.5 at plus 135. I think they're going to bury them, but I think they win by at least 20. So I'll take the Aces minus 19.5 at plus 135. And for my prop on this one, 135 is not. I've taken a lot worse than 135, but I do think for my prop, I think I'm going to double prop point guard. I think 6.5 assists is too low. Looking at her numbers, she had 10 last game, had 5 against Dallas, but had 6 the game before that, 7 the game before that, 8, 9, 11, 8. The point is she does have a lot of assists recently. We think the Aces might score 110 points in this game. She had a double-double last time out. I think Chelsea Gray assists is worth a look. So we'll have the same exact prop. I'll take Chelsea Gray over 6.5 assists at minus 120 on DraftKings.
I think you should play Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young. I'm sorry, guys. This isn't like to Scott's thing, but I think you guys should play Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young's assist as well. Minus 4.5 and minus 3.5. 4.5 for Plum and 3.5 for.
So you want
Young.
you want the point sharing and the assist sharing in the same game.
Hey man, if you take all 7 of those props, I'm almost positive you're going at least 4 for 3 at the very least.
What might screw you would be if the Aces pull everybody in the fourth quarter, but they still would probably have 100 points anyway.
I'm still trying to figure out who, because you can't even pull everybody. You don't even have enough of a roster to pull everybody like that. Like somebody's still on the court.
Yeah.
All right. I'm really buying into the Aces too much, but this is a terrible spot for the jury.
It's a really bad spot.
Why would you schedule a back-to-back with the Aces? Like, that's just unfair. It's just,
and they were already playing bad basketball to begin with.
Yeah. All right. So anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, not really. Looking forward to these 3.5 games. Let's make some money.
All righty. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody on the stream. Make sure y'all like the video on your way out. Shout out to Patricia Irvin telling us to take the Aces and over, Liberty game over, and Phoenix and over. Oh, man. Hey, I mean, they got to get one, right? You got to try to get one, Phoenix. So Good shots there. Let's see. I forgot how he pronounces his name. I know it's not Za because I said Za one time. He was like, it's wrong. I can remember how he
I
pronounces
just go ZS. I just go ZSA. That's what I've been calling him.
Man, I don't know. But Fate and the Storm in the first half. Man, Mercury are bad in the first half too. Like, I don't know. Just take the 1st half.
I'm not
under.
going near the game.
Take the first half under, honestly. Watch neither team score in the first half. All right, Scott. I have nothing else. They are going to like the video on their way out. They're also the people on the audio version that are catching this right before game time. They're going to go and leave a review for us wherever they get their podcast. But other than that, I have to run off to the Fantasy Football Expo and shake hands and kiss babies. So I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just ending like this. We are out of here.